Okay, so go ahead and get started. I'm not sure if we're streaming though. We have a little camera up there. Nobody can see you. If you do ask a question, it does. Hannah, if people ask questions, does it get picked up on the YouTube or without the mic?
The overhead mics are not on, so
Right.
it won't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you run away, I just want to say I'm going to miss you, everybody. Hannah, who's been incredible, a full-on support for this Tuesday night group, as well as other folks. I'm really sad that you're leaving, and I'm happy for you with your new chapter in your life and the travel and work that you're going to do. I'm sure it's going to be great. That you will be missed here. And I just wanted to thank you. And let's give her a round of applause. Done such a great job. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for everything, Chandra.
You're welcome, my dear. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll be back after my travels and come back to class.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes. Then you can really relax.
Yes.
Then you can even do what he's doing.
Yes,
Just
I will
lay
start
down.
this.
How's the volume? I feel like it's really loud. Is it really loud? Just turn it down a little bit. Yeah. Testing, testing. How's the volume? I'm just going to keep saying Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. That's better. Yeah?
Yeah.
Better. Okay, good. More natural. Yeah. Okay. So let's drop in for a second. Let's let ourselves arrive on a deeper level with some breathing. Take some deep breaths. Feel your belly expand. And when you exhale, let the breath leave your mouth even. Make a sound. Just letting out any tension. Deep breath in. Shake out any tension in the neck and the jaw and the shoulders. Inhale. Good. And just let yourself breathe naturally. We'll take a moment here before the formal sit to breathe and let ourselves arrive here in this present moment with this quality of being in the moment, in your body. Feel the sits bones and the buttocks against your seat, feet on the floor if you're in chairs, really ground. Feel the earth beneath you. Feel the breath in the belly expanding forward, side body, even the kidneys expanding with the breath, releasing tension with the out breath. Good. So let's come back together now. We're going to kind of drop in stages tonight. It's nice to be here with you. How many people are here for the first time? Give me a sense. Yeah, good. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Yes. And how many people are kind of brand newish to Dharma or meditation? Yeah, great, great, fun. Welcome. I like having the newbies. It's like, yeah, I used to teach dance when I was younger, and I always liked getting the kids who hadn't learned the bad habits yet, and train them well from the beginning. So it's nice to have people who are maybe just open and fresh. And then, of course, everybody else is welcome too. Yeah, so a couple announcements I wanted to make before we dive into the practice. Every quarter, I do a kirtan here with some musician friends of mine, including Kevin, who's sitting right here. And it's called Echoes of Emptiness. And it's a fun melange, a blend of devotional practices from the Buddhist and Hindu traditions, which are my two streams, and modeled around a practice that I've done a lot with one of my teachers, Robert Svoboda, of sitting and chanting around the fire. Now, of course, we can't chant around the fire inside, so we make do with electrical candles. And I'm talking to Sam, our wonderful new executive director, who is also a ritual specialist and a teacher in his own right, about perhaps using water as an offering. And so the chanting and prayers will infuse the water in a similar way that we would use other elements like fire. We chant a cappella, so you'll learn mantras, melodies, and then short prayers. And we really cook with them. We go deep and we focus in a circle on the central fire or water fixture as our focal point. And we had our first one back in March 2nd, and it was really wonderful to sing with people. There's something so beautiful about blending our voices together. A few of you were here. You were here? You were here? Were you here? Yeah. So we're going to keep doing it. And the next one is on May 18th. They're always on Sundays, May 18th, 6:30 p.m. So everybody's welcome. New people, experienced people. And then another thing I wanted to let you know is that on May 14th, I start a new cohort of an online class that I've been teaching called Foundations of Non-Dual Buddhist Tantra. So a lot of people don't realize that there are tantric forms of Buddhism. And the earlier teachings that maybe more people are familiar with are certainly folded within Buddhist Tantra and are the foundations of Buddhist Tantra. But I also weave in teachings on Hindu Tantra, Shaiva Tantra, the history and how it evolved and the practices and what makes Tantra unique. And then we go deep with a root text, a really beautiful root text called The Heart Treasure of the Enlightened Ones. And it spans the whole path. So the foundation, earlier teachings, contemplations, meditations, and then intermediate and more advanced tantric practices leading up to Dzogchen, the Great Perfection meditation. And so that starts on May 14th. It's been a real fun journey. The first cohorts are rounding up their practices next month, and then we'll start part 2. So it's a year-long series, 2 6-month. And so if you're curious about that, you can talk to me after class, or you can find more information about all this stuff on my website, which is my name, chandraeaston.com. Easy. And then the last thing is online courses on the 21 Taras. I published a book last December on the 21 Taras. And so I have some exciting online courses coming up. I'm going to be teaching with Robert Thurman, who's very devoted to this work, as well as Nina Rao. And the three of us are going to teach on the Taras, as well as weave in some of the Hindu goddesses as well that overlap the Taras, the 10 Mahavidyas, the 10 goddesses. And so that's starting. The first of these series of weekends and classes are starting at the end of April. So again, that's on my website. So that covers more of the Tara work, because that's a big body, a big part of my work is these female Buddhas of compassion and these 21 different manifestations, their mantras, their iconography, their meaning, their enlightened activities, and also real life women who embody those qualities. So we get to learn about people maybe you've never heard of before, and also familiar women, current, historical, Buddhist, non-Buddhist, people from all around the world, all different faiths and traditions and continents, and how their work in the world aligns with some of the themes we find in these taras. That's one way to embody them and to bring them alive. So, yeah. Any questions about that? Yes, good. So I'd like to get the announcements out of the way first. Now we get to practice. All right. Okay. So at the beginning of each class, we do some chanting. And the first chant, what I'd like to do tonight is the Narayani prayer. It's the first one. And then we'll do some prayers on the other side as well. Narayani is one of the goddesses honored in the great text Devi Mahatmya. It's at the front, the top of the Releasing into Present chant sheet. Narayani is the consort of Narayana. It's like the yin and yang, the Shiva Shakti element, and she is like the protectress of all beings, very much like Tara, who's considered to be the savioress, the protectress of compassion and saving beings from danger and fear. And so Narayani is considered to be Tara in some spheres of Hindu Tantra, like in Bengal. That's one of my Hindu Tantric teachers gave me this prayer, saying, "This is Tara." We just call her Narayani in this prayer. This is Sanskrit, so we'll go line by line. We haven't done it for a while, so we'll refresh. And essentially what we're doing in this prayer is we are bowing. You can see the English. We'll read the English now, so you know what you're saying. I bow to Narayani, the goddess who takes away the afflictions of all. She is the refuge of the downtrodden, and she is the very act of turning toward the Supreme. So meaning we embody her wisdom, her essence, as we turn toward the Supreme, the divine, beyond concepts. And so the first line, you'll see some of the diacritics. Whenever you see a dot under the N, it makes it a retroflexive N, so it sounds like a na, instead of our normal na. And then when you see a line over a vowel, it makes it 2 beats instead of 1. And so you can repeat after me. Sharanagata, Sharanagata, Dinarta, Paritrana, Parayane, Sarvasyarti, Hare Devi, Narayani, Namostute. So this is the verse 12 from the Devi Mahatmya. And we often translate from the end back to the beginning. So Narayani Namostute is I bow down to Narayani. And then Hare Devi, well, Devi is goddess, to the goddess. So Sarvasyarti Hare Devi. So who takes away the afflictions of all. Hare means to steal away or take away. Sarva is all. Sarvasyarti, syarti or asyarti is afflictions. So sarvasyarti is the affliction or all afflictions, or afflictions of all, you could say. And then she is the refuge of the downtrodden. We go up to the first line, Sharana Gata Dinarta. Sharana. Sharana Gata means having gone for refuge. Some of you may be familiar with Sharanam Buddham Gacchami, Sharanam Dharmam Gacchami, Sharanam Sangham Gacchami. It's a Sanskrit for I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So Sharanam or Sharana here is like to go for refuge. Agata means having gone, or I go in this case. Yeah, I bow down to, essentially. Or she is the refuge of the downtrodden. Interesting. Okay, Dinarta is downtrodden. So maybe it's like the people who are downtrodden have gone to refuge in her. And so the translator translated as she is the refuge of the downtrodden. People go to her for refuge. And then, and she is the very act of turning toward the Supreme. That's the second line. Paritrana parayane. So paritrana parayane. I don't know the exact grammar of this, but that's what that line's. Pari means to turn around. So this act of turning towards paritrana, the Supreme, parayane. Okay, good. Okay, this has a melody. It's a very common kind of Vedic melody that is applied to many chants. And we really feel, or we come into this practice as a meditation. So let this work on you. And this is such an ancient language that all of you have probably spoken it in past lives already. This is going to maybe sound familiar to you, maybe not. But if it does, there's usually said to be some kind of karmic seed in there, past karma. And if it doesn't feel familiar, that's okay. You're creating the seeds now. This is said to be the language given to us by the gods. It's not a man-made language, Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the name of the language, and it literally means like perfectly engineered. It really is a great language. Okay. Repeat after me with the melody. Sharanagata dinartha, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti Hare Devi, Sarvasyarti Hare Devi, Narayani Namostute, Narayani Namostute. Very nice. Does it need to be a little higher for you guys? Is it a little low? It's good? All right. I could go. Sharanagata dinartha paritrana parayane sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sometimes the women and the men, we kind of fight a little bit about where our comfort zone is. All right, we'll do the first way. All right, let's sing. So I'll call you in the first line, you repeat again. We'll do that again, and then we'll loop back and we'll join in all together, and we're going to do 11 repetitions. So feel the meaning. And if you feel like you don't want to sing, just read the English and meditate on that. That's fine. Okay. Sharanagata dinartha, your turn. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi, sarvasyarti hare devi, narayani namostute, narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, together. Paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, paritrana parayane, sarvasyarti hare devi narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana Parayane Sarvasyarti Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. Hare Devi, the Devi who steals your heart away. Let's do the next chant. I think we don't get to be in a room with people and chant very often, right? Feels good. I like it. Can you tell? Yes, I love it. You know, I teach a lot on Zoom and I'm teaching chants on Zoom and it's so boring. I'm just hearing myself. I can't hear anybody chant. And then I get in this room and I feel you and your voices and it feels very good. So let's do Ganesh. He's so wonderful. Ganapati, the Lord of the categories. He's the Lord of all of our senses. But he also is of course, the elephant god, the beloved Ganesh. And he removes obstacles to learning, obstacles to realization. He is very much like the patron saint of education, of learning and opening our minds to new levels of experience. So this is a very famous invocation for Ganesh. You've maybe even heard this before in other areas if you're familiar with the Hindu chanting. This is a Hindu chant. The English is salutations to Sri Ganesha, who has a curved trunk and a large body, whose splendor is like a million suns. O Deva, please make my undertakings free of obstacles by extending your blessings in my work always. So Vakratunda means Vakratunda basically it means the curved trunk. Vakra is curved, tunda, you hear that with the dots? Tunda, you could try. Tunda, yes, tunda. And when you see V-A-K-R-A, it's not like Vakra, you know, in English we go Vakra. It's like a sound. It's almost like a U sound. Vakra. Can you try? Vakra, vakra. Yeah, it's a little hard, isn't it? But you get it. Vakra tunda. Good. Mouth yoga. And right away you know who we're talking about, right? The curved trunk. Not very many deities have curved trunks. No other deities have curved trunks. Ganesh, I mean, if you notice it, they don't even name him in here. They just name him by the Vakratunda, the one with the curved trunk, and the Mahakaya. Say, Mahakaya. Maha means great, Kaya means form or body. So he's the dude with the large body and the curved trunk. Ganesh. Whose splendor is like a million suns. Surya Koti Samaprabha. This is line by line, more accurate. So Surya, who knows what Surya means? Sun. Koti means million. Koti, Surya Koti. Yes. Samaprabha. Samaprabha. There's an aspirated B there. It's not Samaprabha. It's Samaprabha. Samaprabha. Good. And that means whose splendor. So Sama means same or complete. Prabha is luminosity or light or radiance, splendor. So whose Samaprabha is like extremely, completely splendorous. I mean, if you think about it, if you saw anything, any deity, let alone even just a million suns, if you saw a deity shining with the splendor of a million suns, what would that be like? Jaw dropping. Face melting. I only just thought of this recently. I've said this prayer for years. And I've taught it for years. And I've done lots of puja to Ganesh. And I find it's in the teaching that the learning happens too, because I was explaining it to the class, like you guys, like a few months ago. I'm realizing if I saw Ganesh shining like a million suns, I couldn't see him with my regular eyes. How do you think you would see that? How would you see a million suns? Huh? With your own light. That's beautiful. I like that. In essence, yes, because he's mirroring us. We are him. We're all the deities, by the way. They're all just creative, beautiful displays of the ground of your own being. All appearances are. Spoiler alert. So I like that. And what came to me was the only way I would perceive that is with this eye. Yeah, this eye. What's this eye? What is that? What's that? Yeah. Yeah. I actually don't know the Sanskrit, so you're probably right, Tracy. But what I'm saying is like, it's the wisdom eye. It's the third eye. But the third eye, turn off your phone, please. And don't be shy about it. Everybody, check your phone. If you don't know if you turn it off, turn it, because we're going to sit in a minute. You don't want it going off then. Your inner vision. It's the inner vision. Exactly. It's the wisdom eye. It's the eye that perceives the things that we experience in life that are beyond explanation, right? Beyond the rational mind, the aha, the peak experiences, the wisdom eye. And that is an important part of practice. The great sages talk about that as the centers begin to open and the energies begin to come into the central channel and the chakras start to spin, the root chakra, the navel chakra, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and then the crown. That's more of the Hindu yogic vision. The Buddhists have just 5, whereas the Hindus have 7. Doesn't matter. They all have the third eye. These centers start to open and they feed the wakefulness, the energy that can flow through the central channel as it starts to open. We get caught here a lot. How many people feel like, yeah, like I need to find my voice? Singing, chanting, and devotion helps to open that. Yeah. This is also what we're doing here is we're opening that center so that oxygen can get up to the wisdom eye. And the wisdom eye, the film that covers the wisdom eye can melt away, just fade away. And then you can see Ganesh shining there. He's like, I've always been here, honey. I've always been here waiting for you. Shining like a million suns. So while we're chanting this, feel that. Like, how would that feel to you? How does this feel to start to... I have a mudra that I've made up for the third eye. You can try this. Do this. It's almost like a dance move. But like you're opening. Is that what that is? I know. I knew I got it from somewhere. It's Pulp Fiction. You got it. Uma Thurman. Bob Thurman's daughter. I teach with him. I gotta say something about this. But this move, feel this, the veils melting away in the third eye opening. It's a mudra. Samaprabha. You can see the radiance, the splendor of divinity. Nirvignam kuru me deva. Repeat after me. Nirvignam. Nirvignam. Kuru me deva. Kuru me deva. So nirvignam is such an interesting word. If you take the nir out and you just have vignam, that means obstacles. The taras are a lot about the vignam. They remove vignam, obstacles. Nir is the same part of like the root that you see in a very popular word that's now in the Oxford Dictionary. Nirvana. And what does nirvana mean? Extinguish. To be extinguished, like a candle flame. It's like you're no longer in samsara, you've gone beyond. And so nir means to take away, to extinguish. So extinguish obstacles. Nirvignam. Take away the obstacles. Free of obstacles, here is how it's translated. Kuru is a verb, to do. To do. It's not guru, like teacher. It's kuru, which it's the same root as kr. It's kr is the root, and it's the same root as karma. Karma. Karma literally just means action. It doesn't mean anything more than that. There's good karma, bad karma, neutral karma. But it simply means like cause and effect, but action. So here is this kuru. We're asking him to do something. Kuru, please do something. Please remove obstacles. May, and the may is mine. So please remove my obstacles. And all of yours too, later. First me, then yours, then everybody else's. Please, please. I'm kidding. So please remove all the obstacles. Oh, Deva. Deva is the same we saw it up there. Devi is the feminine. Deva is the masculine for divinity, for deity, oh God. Different than the one monotheistic God, though. As Hinduism's polytheistic. So, oh Deva, please remove all the obstacles. And then, please remove my obstacles. And then we have sarva, say it. Sarva karyeshu sarvadha. Sarvadha. So sarva means all. Karyeshu is actions. Sarvada is always. So please remove, please make my undertakings free of obstacles by extending your blessings in my works always. Sarva karyeshu sarvada. Extending your blessings in my work always. Okay, I'll say the line and you repeat. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Good. So now we're going to chant for a while, and then we're going to go into his mantra, which is Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Repeat after me. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Saying basically, I bow to you, Ganesh. Gam is his bija mantra, his seed syllable. So we'll chant that for a while. We'll do call and response, and then we'll do it together. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, 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 Om Gam Ganapataye Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam 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 Ganapataye Namaha. Sit quietly for a few moments. Feel Ganesha's blessings fill you, the splendor of a million suns. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. So now we're going to stand up and we're going to start to move before we do our longer sit. And I'm going to do something different, inspired by a fabulous movie I just saw last night that everybody needs to see if you haven't already seen it. It's called Sing Sing.
Oh.
Have you seen it?
No.
It's so good. So I'm the acting teacher, and I'm walking into the room and I'm saying, okay, everybody, stand up. Now let's start to move. We're going to walk around the room a little bit. You can walk around the room and pretend you're Ganesh with a big trunk. Boom. Removing obstacles with your big trunk. Boom. Boom. Get silly here. Get playful. Move the body. With the big with the big body. Manny, why are you making me do this? Because I'm Sick of the normal movement I have you do. I'm kidding. Remove feel that all the obstacles in your life are being removed, always. Obstacles to learning, obstacles to realization, obstacles to communication, anything, whatever. Work, abundance, money, you name it. What? You say it. Shout it out, guys. What do you want your obstacles to be? What obstacles do you want removed? Popcorn it. Speak it. Speak out loud, loud. Learning French. Oui, oui. That's okay. If you got the bag, you can just breathe into it. And ask Ganesh to remove the back pain obstacles. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I've got it too, honey. Okay, who else? And then we'll do something else. Yes, keeping your job. Remove obstacles to keeping your job. Okay, now pretend you're Tara. Tara is swift like the wind. Think of like a bird. Wave your arms. Like Tara comes to the rescue. Yeah. Tara saves beings from suffering and danger. Ooh, how would it feel if you could fly? All right, now make your way back to your little island. And now we're going to do the ba in dedication to Ashley because she loves it. All right. It's something we do at the end of the shadow yoga that I used to do all the time. It's also a part of Tibetan yogas too. It's a way to end and shake things out. So we're going to do that and then we'll sit. So I'll show you. How about I show you? I'll make a fool of myself and then you'll be free to make fools of yourselves. So take that away. I won't do it very loud, but you're going to do it loud. So what you do is you inhale, cross the arms, and then you're going to shake everything out and ba like a sheep. Ba! Like that. All right, we're going to do it 3 times. Inhale. Ba! Shake out your chest and your lungs. Inhale. Shake it all out, but not the guy with the back thing. Okay. Ba! Last one. Really let it out. Bah! Good. So we've been a bird, we've been an elephant, and we've been a sheep. Brr. Come on down. So decide, what do you want to sit? How do you want to be for this meditation? Do you want to be in a chair? Do you want to be on a cushion? Do you want to lie down? We're going to sit for about a half an hour. So make sure you're doing something. You're in a position that's comfortable for you, that you can hold with relative stillness. It would be so great if we could be as still as possible. I'm not as strict as Michael is about not moving. Sometimes I think I should be, but I'm not. So if you absolutely have to move, do it with mindfulness slowly and just try not to fidget, because that takes you out of the depth and the stillness and the clarity that we're cultivating. So find a position that you feel like you can hold with relative stillness, ease, comfort, relaxation, and then settle in. Arousing your heartfelt motivation for practice called bodhicitta, the spirit of awakening. We walk the path, we integrate, we heal for the benefit of ourselves and all beings. This vast motivation brings vast results. And then releasing into presence. Release all the thoughts that take you out of this moment. Right away, can you enter? Drop. Just drop the planning, the grasping. Come home to the breath. And feel relaxation spread throughout your body. The belly open to the breath. Settling the body in its natural state, stillness, still like a mountain, at ease within itself, aligned with gravity. And nothing is ever completely still. The wind through the trees creates movement on the mountain. The breath in your body, the pulse of the heart, the circulation, there's always movement within the stillness. Settling the body in its natural state, let relaxation be the main ingredient, this first step into meditation. Notice if you're holding at the kidneys or the hips. You're holding at the shoulders or the neck, the face. Use the exhalation to soften and unravel tension with the out-breath. Settling the breath in its own rhythm. The speech is in silence, no more mantra, no prayers, just letting the voice be silent like a lute with its strings cut through. Notice if there's any control of the breath and relax around that. Let the breath settle in its natural rhythm. Breathing through the nose or the mouth. Let the tongue rest against the upper palate, the root of the front top teeth. Relax the tongue, relax the root of the tongue down towards the heart. The eyes are either closed or slightly open, gazing at a comfortable angle towards the floor. Body is still but not tense. And then the mind. Settling the mind in its natural state, like the sky, spacious, open. Rest awareness in that quality of the expanse. The third eye. The third eye is what sees and feels that expanse. It's a feeling of opening in all directions, as if you had no head. It was just sky all around. Awareness, vast like the sky, this feeling of wakefulness, of knowing. Awareness, it's so intimate with us we don't even see it. It's right here, just like the nose on your face, but you don't see it. Can you see it? Rest in awareness. Awareness that pervades thoughts. Thoughts arise, emerge from the ground. Awareness. But you are not your thoughts. Release grasping and fixation on thought. With the out breath, come back to this simple quality of being. Release into presence. It's an undoing, not a doing. And let the mind rest as it is, in its own place, its own limpidity, radiance, cognizance. In meditation, Your only job is to not wander. Rest the mind just as it is. The wandering begins the chain of delusion. You notice you've been lost in that chain, no big deal. Release with the out breath and come back to this present moment. Recommit to being present. Releasing distraction. Stay with the breath in the body. Settling the body and speech and mind in their natural state. Releasing the distraction as you notice it arises and return back to this present moment is like threading the eye of the needle. Can you stay? Stay. Training the mind is like training a puppy. Can you stay? Stay with me. And the staying bears such delicious fruit. The mind starts to get hooked on it. It wants to stay. And as we stabilize in presence, free of grasping, free of distraction, it's as if a crack begins to open and light begins to shine through. The luminosity of the third eye begins to open. And the head center begins to awaken. Supported by the throat, center, the heart, the belly. Feel that open funnel from the base to the top, and the crown. When we rest in the present moment, the subtle body begins to open. And the prana begins to flow through the channels with more ease and balance and pleasure. And we witness that pleasure. We don't attach to it. Just notice, let it be there. It's a natural aspect of practice is bliss. Let it open your centers, open the belly, the heart, and the head centers respectively. And rest in loving awareness. Golden like sunlight radiating from your heart. The heart chakra begins to glow. Each breath enkindles that glow, and the exhale spreads the warmth of that light from the heart center into every cell of your body. Going to places in need, any areas of the body that need light and healing. Inhale, breathe into the heart. Exhale, let that warmth spread through the body. Even if it's just an intention, an inkling, a visualization, an imagination. Sense it with the third eye. This loving awareness orb of light at the heart chakra begins to glow even more, and you feel that the golden light within you begins to emanate from every pore of your skin. Laterally, front and back, up and down. And feel that light spreading to your neighbors, either side of you, but front and behind you. And then filling the room and spreading out into the rest of the building, to any beings in the building, and beyond this mycelial golden network of luminous awareness, spreading out, sending loving awareness to beings, humans, winged beings, legged beings, insects, animals, embodied and unembodied beings. With each exhalation, feel this light spreading. Loving awareness, bonding all of us like Indra's net. Where every knot, every intersection is a multifaceted jewel, and within that jewel is a reflection of every other jewel in the net. This is interdependent emptiness, a tendril. And feel this light go beyond this region, this town, this state, this country, spreading out like a blanket of light in all directions, enveloping the world and places in need. With each out-breath, send that golden light. May you be well, may you be free. You can even say a prayer. Places in need, people, animals, the world, Gaia, and beyond. Send this loving kindness out through this mycelial network of interconnected jewel net. This heart space, we are all connected. And then the light moves beyond this world and fills all of space to places and beings unknown, world systems, past, present, future, the fourth time beyond the three. The light of consciousness. Tatsam, I am that. I am that light of bliss consciousness. Feel now the crown opening, and that light pouring in and out of you, the interconnected, blooming, thousand-petaled lotus that opens you to receive the blessings of all the wisdom beings. And you recognize that you are too a wisdom being. In this space, you recognize that thoughts are not a problem. Distraction, thoughts, dreams, they're all creative displays of the ground luminosity. How could they be bad if they were an expression of your own rigpa, your own primordial awareness? Release into presence. Release into your own rigpa, this primordial awareness that is your birthright. A spark of divinity within each of you. Know it. Trust it. Take your seat and rest. Rest in awareness. The echoes of emptiness. The bell symbolizes the sacred feminine, the womb, the capacity to birth all manner of appearances, also called the mother of the Buddhas, because we pass through, we gestate in the womb of emptiness to birth as a Buddha. So that's why shunyata is the sacred feminine principle of like the sacred womb. And I love this bell so much. It's so hard not to like sneak out with it at the end of the night, take it home. Thich Nhat Hanh. This is a Vietnamese bell. Did anybody study with Thich Nhat Hanh? Did anybody have a chance to sit with him? He passed away. In the Vietnamese tradition, the bell is not just for beginning and ending, it's actually used as a meditative tool. So they'll play it numerous times and chant to it, and then use it as an exercise of releasing into presence, releasing into that empty experience, emptiness, shunyata. So I always hear him with the Vietnamese chants. I can't do it. It would sound horrible if I tried to. It's so beautiful. You can search up Plum Village chants on Spotify and listen to beautiful, like they chant the Heart Sutra with the bell or do other mantras, or they call gatis. Gatis are like kind of like mantras, phrases that the Buddha taught of mindfulness. Gati. So Thich Nhat Hanh in his tradition would ring the bell and chant a gati and meditate on it, ring the bell, another gati. It's very beautiful. So I try to incorporate this as much as I can into class because of the memories I have. We went to 3 family retreats with him. He came to the States. And when our first kid, Tara, was about 5, 6, 7, we would take her to retreats, and my ex and I. And it was a real place of refuge for all of us parents who were totally foundering in the ocean of parenthood samsara. Like, how do we bring mindfulness into parenting? I need help. And he really those were some of the best retreats I've ever been to. He would every morning of the retreat, everybody, the whole community, his monks and nuns who would travel with him, or once I went to France at Plum Village, and it's so beautiful. Near Bordeaux, he had monasteries and would do retreats at the nunnery or the monastery, and they had a big, beautiful hall, and everybody, the Westerners, people from all around the world, lots of Vietnamese too, would come and with our families, with the children, for the family retreats every summer. So on the family retreats, we would all gather in the hall in the morning at 10 a.m. And he would be up on the stage with the bell and some other of his monks and nuns who would chant with him. And he would invite all the children to sit up front. And then the parents would be behind the children, the adults behind the children. And it just makes me cry. He would spend the first 20 minutes teaching to the children. And it was so beautiful. The way he would teach children to breathe and to feel their feelings and trust themselves. And he would teach the bell meditation with the children a lot, like listen to the bell. And it would bring us into a place of silence. And the children were just in awe. I mean, of course, some would be fidgeting, but they were in awe of him. He really knew how to hold the attention. That was some of my favorite time of the retreat. Then after 20 minutes, he'd say, okay, now you can go. And then the camp counselor, monks and nuns, would take the children out and play games with them outside and do what kids need to do, right? And then he'd say, now come forward. And then the adults would come forward, and then he would teach to us. And it was so beautiful. So he'd take it deeper. He'd have another topic, or he'd extend the topic that he had started with the children, and we'd practice together. But most of the family retreat was mostly about learning to be mindful in our everyday movements, to slow it down. We didn't do a lot of seated practice. I remember thinking, where's all the seated? I want to sit, I want to meditate. There wasn't that much. It was mostly teaching on how to walk mindfully, how to eat mindfully, how to help prepare the food mindfully, how to clean up mindfully, how to hang out in your tent mindfully. I mean, it was just about living the Dharma. And one of the ways they did it was with the bell. They had in the middle of, it's called the hamlet, the hamlets they have in Plum Village. In the middle of each hamlet would be a giant bell, like hanging on a structure. Giant bell. And I don't know how they organized it, but every day it was one of the monk or nuns' tasks to ring the bell every 20 minutes, 3 times. And the teaching was, when you heard the bell, and Thich Nhat Hanh would teach the kids this, and he'd talk a lot about this in the teachings. He taught the kids, the adults, everybody. everybody on the land, when you hear the bell, you stop. You stop what you're doing. And he said, put down your baggage and take 3 mindful breaths. Come back to the present moment. You know, he would always say, the miracle isn't walking on water, it's walking with mindfulness on the earth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's always about, okay, slow it down. Hear the bell. Like, oh, I don't want to slow. I'm chasing my kid. I need to get them. You know, within reason. You think you can't stop, but you realize, oh, you can. And then the kid stops too. Kids are good at it. They stop, and they're usually like, okay, let's go. They're off to the next thing. But the adults, you know, we really found that to be very helpful, to such an extent that I got one of those Zen alarm clocks back in the early 2000s, you know, those little ones with the bell. And I set it to go off on repeat every 20 minutes in my house, because I worked and write and work out of my home. And I tried to bring that quality of mindful presence into my daily life. You know, it's so easy to speed up. I really feel like speediness is actually, this might sound dramatic, but it's kind of like doing violence to our nervous system. You know, it's like, you know, it's an act of violence towards our nervous system. Do you see what I mean? So if you can set, you know, now we have the cell phones, you could set a mindfulness timer, and every time you hear the bell, just stop. Whatever you're doing, put down your psychic baggage. Just put it down. Put down your agenda, your thoughts, and breathe. And come back to this present moment. And then after the 3rd breath, then keep going. But you keep going with that quality of mindfulness. It's so beautiful. Yeah. This bell, I always think of him when I ring the bell. He was a living Buddha. I really think, you know, no, maybe nobody's perfect, but he really was, I think. There's a wonderful podcast. I don't remember. Yeah, the podcast is called "The Way Out is In." It's a phrase that Thich Nhat Hanh would say, and his kind of lineage holder is the primary monk that he tapped to be the leader of his Plum Village community. Is this wonderful monk, Pha Po, I think is his name, and he talks on this podcast with another British man who's a wonderful podcaster who is a student of Thich Nhat Hanh, and they're always telling stories about Thich Nhat Hanh and teaching stories and giving Dharma talks, and it's a really wonderful break from everything else out there. I would recommend this podcast, and it gives you a flavor of the beauty if you haven't been exposed to Thich Nhat Hanh's teaching. You know, in Vietnam, the form of Buddhism is Mahayana Buddhism, like Zen. It's Zen. A lot of people think it's Theravadan, but Thich Nhat Hanh was a Zen monk, and he was a brilliant, not just a brilliant teacher, but a really brilliant scholar and translator. So read even his more scholarly books. They're incredible. He translated the Anapanasati Sutta, the Mindfulness of Breathing Sutta, the Four Foundations of Mindfulness Sutta, the Satipatthana Sutta. These are very important Theravadan texts, but he translated them and then gave beautiful commentary also from his angles. The Mahayana is sort of the middle development phase of Buddhism that arose around the 1st century CE in India. And it's that form of Buddhism that went up to China, then went down to Japan, Vietnam, Korea. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, of course, Tibet. But Tibet also inherited the Vajrayana, the tantric vehicle. And within the tantric vehicle, that's the latter development of Buddhism. From about 500 CE to 1200 CE, it really flourished during the Pala period and King Ashoka and all of that. The Tantra really flourished and spread to a lot of areas. Tibet, Bhutan, Nepal. But do you know that Burma was tantric Buddhism for many years until a Burmese king around I don't remember, maybe around the 8th or 9th century. He loved Theravada, so he wiped out the tantric Buddhism and imported Theravadan Buddhism. So Burma is really a wonderful preserver of the earlier sutric teachings. The Theravada is one of 17 of the earlier lineages that survives today. But what's interesting in my book research, when I was researching the 21 Taras and the origin of Tara, and when she first arose in India, which was in the 7th century CE, her teachings and practices spread really far and wide, and there are tantric sects, evidence of sects worshipping Tara in tantric Buddhist form in Bagan, in Burma. Bagan. You know, Bagan is the area with the thousands of stupas that are so beautiful, the reliquaries. Yeah, it's one of the World Heritage Sites. It's gorgeous, yeah? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, yeah.
It's great during sunset.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the images of sunset. Yeah, Bagan. Anyway, so it's really interesting to learn about the history and the spread of Dharma and why it went certain areas. There's a really cool video I found on YouTube of a whole time lapse of the spread of Dharma throughout Asia, all of Asia, over the years, and how it kind of went and then receded and then went there. And I wish I could just tell you the name of this. I have it, but you could search it on YouTube, and it is very interesting to see. Tantric Buddhism was also very strong in Indonesia. Yeah, especially Sumatra. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, I did not plan to talk about all of that, but it's just, I tell Kevin all the time, I've got a plan, but don't know if I'm going to follow it. It's kind of fun being a seasoned teacher. You make your plan, but you also trust yourself enough to be we have to feel the room. You know, what's in the room? Who's in the room? I have no idea who's going to come to each class, right? So I think a good teacher, what I've experienced with my teachers, is they respond to the room. Yeah. What do you think the job of a teacher is? Reflect. That's a good answer. I like that. Reflect the divinity in you.
And help us to reflect what you're sharing. It's
Yes.
going like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
And giving so that we can build up what's inside of us to share that out.
Yes. Good. Yes. Does anybody have any other things they want to contribute to that?
So when asked the way by removing the obstacles on the way.
Can you say that again?
So when asked the way.
Showing us the
removing
way.
obstacles that
Yes.
each one of us is going to find in that way.
Yes. That's right. Yeah, they say, a teacher should just at least know a little bit more than their students. You don't have to be perfect or fully enlightened Buddha. I remember when I first started teaching, I asked my teacher, I'd been invited to give some introductory Buddhist classes at a cancer center. And so I asked Alan Wallace, can I do that? I was 27, no, 30. It's 27, 30, I was about 30. And no, I was 28. And he said, sure, no problem, just be humble and teach what you know. And he said, and don't worry, you just have to know a little bit more than your students. That's a common saying. It's kind of funny. That's more of like the Kalyana Mitra teacher, not the guru. The guru is something different. higher bar. But I love these answers. Anyone else? And then we'll go. I want to, yeah, please.
It's almost as like a guide, but in like a very open sense. Like I was just thinking we were just at like a refuge for animals in Costa Rica, and the guide just walked us through and just let us stop and like watch the monkeys,
Yes.
like watch the sloths, and we kind of allow us to go by, but then we get to experience it all
Yes.
on our own and spend
Yeah.
time with it, and then you sort of take us along the journey.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. A guide, a reflection, and remind me,
Guide and ask the way.
guiding us in an obstacle remover, right? Ganesh.
And I think also a manifestation of the divine.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, as a teacher, you are manifesting.
Yeah, kind of channeling it. Yeah. Yeah. Like it's Shakti. There's some Shakti that's coming through. And what were you going to say? Did you say something else? I have a friend who's he's a psychic. He's like an oracle. Hi, Jay Norbu. He tunes in sometimes. He says to me, embody the deity when you teach. Embody the deity. It's like, oh yeah, I never thought to do that. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to think about it in that way. But I think that, we all can embody the deity. It's not just about the sage on the stage. And that's the job of the teacher, to reflect the divinity back to you all, to help you see for yourself the beauty, and hopefully help remove obstacles or show you how you can, purify the karma, for lack of a better way of saying it. Because it's the karma that veils. The divinity is always here, but we're kind of lost because we have lifetimes and lifetimes of kind of some confusion. And so sometimes when we sit, we feel really dense and we can't quite access it. There's just some overlay of the karmas that need to clear. So when one time one of my teachers asked us what the job of the teacher is, and I gave I was about to say something like, to impart knowledge, and it's to teach us some. I don't remember what I was going to say exactly, but he said, it's to inspire. Which is, in a way, what all of you have been saying, to inspire. I never forgot that. It was like an aha moment. Yes, thank you. So, we do our best. And try to have fun along the way. Yeah?
Oh, it was a really good journey through how you were helping our meditation. Travel.
Yeah.
It was really, really great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Good.
sitting and just your reminders, you come
Good.
in, stay present, stay with attention.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. Follow your breath, just all your little suggestions were welcome.
Good.
Well, I've wanted to take a class for a really long time, and I just happened to be in the parking lot today. And then I Googled Olympic, and then you were teaching, and just recently, in the last couple of days, I was like reciting the Tara mantra and also the Bij mantra for Ganesh, like just in the last couple of days. And then this happened.
What's your name?
I'm Teresa.
Teresa?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you just happened to be in the parking lot? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I was going to Concentra today, and then I'm like, oh, what's Olympic? And then I Googled it, and then your
Wonderful.
class is
See?
tonight.
That's it. That's Tara.
That's
Yeah, Ashley, we talk about this a lot. When you're in the embrace or the graces of Tara, these things happen. Teresa.
Yeah, I really wanted to go to your New Year's retreat forever.
Esalen.
Decades, maybe. I don't know. It seems like a long time.
I just booked a new date, August 11th to the 15th. It's not New Year's, but it's for Esalen. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be there for New Year's this time. They're kind of changing their programming up. Come, it's fun. Good place. Well, I'm so glad to hear that. Welcome. So, are you just visiting?
No.
Oh, you live around here?
I'm here.
Good.
I'm here now, but yeah,
Teresa, I think it feels like the name is like the same root as Tara. What does Teresa mean?
I know.
The Savioress?
No, it's to reap, to harvest. Because my name's Tracy.
Oh.
And the root of Tracy is Teresa. And Teresa means to reap.
Yes. Beautiful.
harvest. Yeah.
To
Wow.
I
collect.
think basically farmer.
I think it's a little bit more. It's like wild, like in the woods. I'm thinking like wild collecting. Yeah. but
Good. So
maybe-
before animal husbandry. Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you. Good. Wow, it's good to be. I'm sure we all have our stories, don't we? Of the grace and beauty, and they call that tendril in the Tibetan language. It's not tendril like tentacles, but tendril means interdependent causation. And when we're in the flow, especially when we're in the grace of the Dharma, or even, it doesn't need to be Buddha Dharma, but when we're in grace, these things happen. And the lamas, when I've traveled or helped guide pilgrimages, shit happens and everything's kind of woo. But they're always like, we follow the signs. I'll never forget that. It's tendril. We follow the tendril, often choosing left or right. If we can, notice if there's a sign. And literally they'll notice signs like a bird flying or some different aspects that are not prescribed, but like what happened with you. There's something there. Yeah. So welcome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Good. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Enjoy tea out there. It's a wonderful community here, and it's very much like volunteer based in some way. So if you ever want to get involved with this really dynamic, interesting community and be a part of it, volunteering is one kind of light-footed way to get involved, right, Sam? So you could talk to Sam. He's our executive director, as I mentioned. He's kind of on the newer side here, and I'm so excited to have you and to work with you. And please talk to him if you have any questions about being involved. And Manny, yes, my dear.
Sunday's event.
Yeah, we just had this incredible event with Michael Taft and I, first time we ever taught together. And it was beautiful. And we're going to do it more of it. Mantra, lots of prayers. Yeah, next time. We're already looking at dates. Go ahead.
If you're not on our mailing list, please, the iPad outside has a mailing list entry. Get on our mailing list and you'll be kept up to date on all we're doing. So one email a week.
And it's very strange and weird, like Eric Davis, navigating the weirdness, right? Is that happening soon or did that?
Yes,
When is that? Tomorrow. You guys have to come if you don't have anything else pulling your attention. Come back tomorrow night to see Eric Davis's talk on navigating the weirdness. He's a classic, wonderful speaker. We kind of navigated the weirdness tonight, didn't we, Manny?
Yes, and all that weird bird stuff. Hi.
Howdy doody.
Have to
Turn off.
reach out to your friend. At their massage.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Damn.